at Snetterton. We had 3 very lively races, although some of the drama was provided by Mother Nature. Race 1 was as good as the weather got all weekend when it was just a little bit windy. Omar Ismail was the man that started at the front. There was chaos on the first lap though, with several drivers involved in incidents and accidents, leaving their races over almost as soon as they'd begun. At the front, Omar Ismail had to hold off increasing pressure from championship leader Will Palmer, but he hung on to take his first win in the series.
Quite surprising really, I never expected to be this high up in my second ever race weekend.
Race 2 was damp. A rain shower before the race left the team split on what to do. Most went for wets for the extra grip, hoping for more rain. This seemed the right move at the start as the track was very slippery. However, it wasn't long before a dry line appeared, allowing those on slick tyres to pounce. Tom Jackson was working his way up through the order, and after a couple of nervous early laps, he was soon at the head of the field. He finally took the lead on the last lap to head for his first win.
I actually can't believe it. When I was coming around, I was like, I was actually first. So this is a great way to rebound and hopefully get my championship bid back up there.
By race 3, conditions had deteriorated significantly, making for a very tough race. In parts, it was more about hanging on than racing, with visibility disappearing in the spray. As the drivers tried to cope with the conditions, there was a certain balletic feel to the action on track. Will Palmer, though, kept a calm head and controlled the race from the front as he headed for his 4th win of the season.
I was just feeling more confident, there was more grip and the lap times were just falling.
So the championship looks like this, heading to Brands Hatch, with Jordan Albert, an Alton Park winner, down in 6th, Chris Mealin, a double winner, down in 4th. But Will Palmer is the man in charge, and he's getting away. In race 2 at Snetterton, Jack Bartholomew was one of the drivers that gambled on slicks in the damp conditions, and like Tom Jackson, found himself carving his way through the field and to a strong podium finish.
First 4 laps I was driving around thinking, nah, we've made a mistake here. But then halfway through we started picking one lap, and then by the end we were 3 seconds a lap quicker. So it was a case of just make some nice clean moves, don't want to get stuck behind anyone too long, and then I didn't even know I had a podium until the in-lap. I was waiting to see people ahead, and I realised that there weren't, so it was brilliant.
In race 3, young Harry Newey put in a great drive in awful conditions where visibility was virtually non-existent, and he claimed another impressive podium finish.
It's like flying through a cloud. You can just imagine going through a cloud on an airplane, and you look out, you can't even see the end of the wings or anything. And it's kind of like that. It just all the water turns into one big cloud, and you're just going through it, and you just can't see anything.
Race 1 of the weekend here at Brands Hatch coming up, and Will Palmer doesn't just lead the championship, he leads the field to the grid because he is the man on pole position, and this is a 4th pole of the season for Will Palmer, and he's got Harry Newey lining up with him at the front of the grid. The 2 HHC Motorsport teammates set to take the battle to the first corner ahead of Mercuria Cossi's Kieran Haggerty. Race 1 is about to get underway. 14 laps on the Grand Prix circuit at Brands Hatch. Great start by Will Palmer, but a good getaway as well by Tom Jackson from the 2nd row of the grid. And Jackson squeezes his way up past Haggerty. Rodrigo Fonseca dives down towards paddock for the first time. Doesn't gain ground, but doesn't get mugged either. He did leave the door open on the inside, but he doesn't lose out as a result as the cars head towards Druids on lap 1. Fonseca now does go a little bit wide. Up the inside of him tries to go Jordan Albert in the SWR run. Carshall and Walkinshaw Racing. As along Cooper Straight for the first time comes the race leader, Will Palmer, edging away already from the rest of them. Heading through Surtees for the first time onto the Grand Prix part of the circuit. Jordan Albert there in the black and green car goes through, chasing after Jack Lang just up the road ahead. Now on board with Rodrigo Fonseca. By his high standards, he started a long way back on the grid. 7th, he's got work to do. Tries to get up alongside Jordan Albert, who closes the door on the run down now towards Hawthorne, and he's in danger of losing a place. Fonseca look under attack, look right. There was a nose cone just creeping up the inside into Westfield. Over the curb, in and out of the corner goes Fonseca, and he loses out now. Sisu and Gebelana is the man that goes through, and the safety car is being deployed already. And the reason is that Jack Bartholomew is off the road, and the other car looks to be that of Amaya Vadyanathan. Charlie Kemp of HHC Motorsport peers over the pit wall, and he will see Will Palmer, one of his fleet of drivers, leading the way. And where is Harry Newey in relation to Will Palmer? They were together on the front of the grid, but as they come up over the timing line at the end of lap 1 of the race, then safety car deployed, and it's because this incident is up at Druids and the two cars need retrieval. Let's try and piece it together. This is Jack Bartholomew's view. Heads into the corner. Vadyanathan gets it a little bit wrong ahead. Bartholomew goes for the inside. They interlock wheels, they touch, and off they head towards the barriers. And down the pit road comes Michael O'Brien, number 94, Rockingham winner. And his Chris Dittman Racing Run car has had a pit stop. It's going to get back into the race, but time lost as the safety car will peel in this time. Lights are out. So at the end of this lap, we will go racing once more. No overtaking permitted while they've been behind the safety car, and so it means Will Palmer heads the pack. It's Kieran Haggerty second, and the green flags fly. We're racing once more here at Brands Hatch. Race 1 of 3 in the BRDC F4 Championship, on board with Rodrigo Fonseca, who's not really stayed as close as he needs to the pack ahead on that restart, so he's still got ground to make up. Harry Newey from the second rank on the grid down in 4th, and he too has got work to do as Jordan Albert there, 23, turns his way around Druids. Back on board with Fonseca, place to be gained here as running out wide into Gebelana on the drop down towards Graham Hill Bend. Fonseca having lost out on that first lap of the race, not quite able to take advantage of. There's a slow car on Cooper Straight that looked like O'Brien having rejoined from the pit stop, and clearly problems still persist as now Chris Meeling runs wide at Surtees, rattles over the curb. A double winner this year is Chris Meeling for Lannon Racing. Has that delayed him? We'll see in a moment as a replay here of what happened at Druids is triggered by Sisu and Gebelana running wide. On board with Fonseca. Meeling getting squeezed a bit by Gebelana, but the Manxman keeps on going. He's up alongside, he's on the outside line. If Gebelana breaks later, he can hang on to the place, but he can't do it. Meeling goes through and Gebelana slides out wide. Gap on the inside for Fonseca, who will go back through on the run into Westfield. Great racing this. Back up the inside comes Gebelana. One down and one up again. But Will Palmer is on target to win race 1 of the weekend. It's going to be a 5th win of the championship season as well for him as the HHC Motorsport car comes across the line. Will Palmer wins what is effectively his home circuit. In second place will be Kieran Haggerty. The last place on the podium goes to Tom Jackson, and the battle between Gebelana and Fonseca heads up towards the timing line with Gebelana bagging 9th position. So a lively start to the action at Brands Hatch. And as far as some of those drivers involved in the championship battle concerned, Rodrigo Fonseca really struggling down in 10th place. Harry Newey frustrated only to get home 4th behind Tom Jackson. 2nd for Kieran Haggerty. Excellent job done. Will Palmer takes win number 5.
We've been really strong all day, starting off in practice. And I knew that if I could get away in the lead, I'd be able to pull away. But then, after the safety car, I was able to just pull away to the end.
Race 2 is about to get underway here based on the results of race 1 with the top 8 reversed. So Will Palmer is on the 4th row of the grid, and new sticky tyres on the car for Chris Meeling on pole position as he makes his way up onto the grid. With him at the front, Jordan Albert. Double winner is Meeling, single race victory to Jordan Albert. 3rd on the grid, it is Omar Ishmael, he's had a win this year. And 4th is Jack Lang. The last few cars making their way up onto the grid. Chris Meeling then, a double winner this year, is the man on pole position. Little bit of creeping. He's away. Jordan Albert away much later. Now, was that a bad start by Albert, or was that a jump by Chris Meeling? He's got a huge advantage on the run down towards Paddock Hill Bend. So Chris Meeling is away and gone, and there's drama already because that is Lang getting turned sideways. He's off into the gravel. He was 4th on the grid, didn't make a brilliant getaway, and the race has come to a very early end. So Jack Lang off the road in the gravel bed, going no further as the race leaders dive downhill for the first time, and Chris Meeling is absolutely away and gone. However, if Jack Lang's car needs retrieval under the safety car, they're all going to bunch back up onto the tail of the leader. It runs 2nd for Jordan Albert at the moment as the cars head onto the Grand Prix loopers there. Kieran Haggerty gets up the inside of Sisu and Gebelana. Meeling leads the way. Albert is 2nd. 3rd is Omar Ishmael. And there, 37, Sisu and Gebelana back round the outside of Kieran Haggerty, and he's taking Will Palmer with him on the run down towards Hawthorn for the first time. No, he's not, because back up the inside goes Haggerty. Stands his ground on the inside, yellow flags wave, safety car boards are displayed. There is the safety car, which hopefully will pick up pace in a moment and carry everybody across the line, but a frustrated Jack Lang it is who walks away. Wasn't a great start, wheel spin, gets bogged down a bit, past him goes Harry Newey. This is the run towards Paddock, up the inside then also tries to go Tom Jackson. Jackson goes through and there was discernible contact, possibly from Kieran Haggerty, and it turned Lang around, got him onto two wheels briefly, and backwards into the gravel he goes. Everybody now weaving around to try to maintain the warmth in the rubber as we get ready for the restart of the race. Now let's try and piece this incident together again. On board with Will Palmer, Kieran Haggerty to the right, Jack Lang's orange car is ahead, that's the one to keep an eye to. Haggerty goes up the inside, Lang moves across to try and get the line, they meet in the middle, off goes Lang, and Palmer has to slow right down in avoidance and he loses places as a result. From the outside once more, eyes on the orange car of Jack Lang, who turns his way into Paddock. When Haggerty starts the move, there's a gap, it does close a bit, but the two meet in the middle, and Jack Lang is the real casualty off into the gravel. And let's see it from Kieran Haggerty's point of view. He makes a decent start, gets up the inside, Jack Lang after the wheel spin, struggles away. So Kieran Haggerty goes for the inside line, turns his way through. Jack Lang does come across on him a little bit, and short of going up the curb, not much Haggerty could do to get out of that. And Chris Meelan it is who will lead them away, and staying with him is Jordan Albert then as we go racing once more. Harry Newey powering his way through in fourth place. Can he get onto the podium by the end here? Let's see as the leaders work their way over the timing line once again. Glorious sunshine shines down on Brands Hatch as the cars turn their way through Paddock Hill Bend. And straight away, Chris Meelan and Jordan Albert just edging away as they head up towards Druids, with Omar Ishmael third, fourth is Harry Newey, fifth is Tom Jackson in the red car. And another replay of the start, and have a look at Chris Meelan. The question was it good or was it a jump? The officials say it was a jump because he was over the timing line before the lights went out, and so he is getting a penalty for an out of position start. Chris Meelan leads, and of course any hope of building up a gap ready for a penalty to be taken has disappeared with the safety car bunching up everybody. So as he heads downhill now, Chris Meelan's advantage has disappeared and he's going to have to take this penalty as well. It's going to be a 10-second time penalty for him, so he needs to be 10 seconds plus clear of the opposition. And that, in any one-make category, is not easy, especially given that the number of racing laps has just been eaten into, effectively, by that safety car period. Outside line, over the timing line, down towards Paddock. Is this Will Palmer's opportunity? He's going to have to be really brave to do it on the outside. He gets the cut back and does the inside line on the way up towards Druids. Absolutely wheel to wheel. Palmer on the inside. He's done it. Palmer goes sixth. That was very hard work indeed, but it's paid off in the end. And Will Palmer goes through for sixth position now. Once released from Fonseca, can he get onto the back of that gaggle up the road? Down through the gears, into Surtees, turns left. A little bit wide onto the curb as you look there, and Harry Newey, he's sandwiched at the moment between the Chris Dittman racing cars. Omar Ishmael is ahead, and this man, Tom Jackson, is behind him. Newey works his way up through the right at Hawthorn. Through Westfield now, Tom Jackson will be mindful that behind there is a rapidly closing Will Palmer. So he needs to try and get on with this as Newey now forces the issue against Ishmael, forces him out onto the grass. Newey goes through, Ishmael spins once, spins twice, rejoins, he's brought dirt all onto the road. He gets going after a real magic roundabout job, but that will drop him a long way back in the pack now. It also puts Tom Jackson onto the tail of Harry Newey. It gives Will Palmer and others one further place gained. Have another look here. Newey up the inside, runs out wide, and really lets Omar Ishmael make his own arrangements there. There was no way that Harry Newey was going to lift, and if that squeezed Ishmael to the grass, then so be it. On board with Jackson now, comes over the line. Harry Newey proving that when he has to be, he's a pretty uncompromising opponent in this championship. And now Jackson up into fourth will be thinking about how he, if at all, can find a way past the Brit. Coming into this weekend, Tom Jackson was the driver who had gained most places from grid position over the course of the season. and off into a huge cloud of dust there at paddock. By the look of it, has gone. I think it's Sisu Ngebelana. He's the one I can't see up at Druid, so it looks like Ngebelana has gone off into the gravel bed. Up front, Chris Meelan leads the way. It is Ngebelana, but he's also got Akhil Rabindra with him in the gravel as well. The two have disappeared off the road at the very start of what is the last lap of the race. A lap down, of course, on the original distance because of the earlier safety car period. So, Chris Meelan leads, but you can see the gap is nowhere near 10 seconds. The real question is going to be, where is this going to drop into? As Jordan Albert then, who runs second, just ahead of Harry Newey, is about to come through for a second win of the year. Jordan Albert won at Alton Park. He's going to inherit a win at Brands Hatch. They come across the line now. Out goes the checkered flag. Jordan Albert is the winner from Harry Newey and then Tom Jackson, with Will Palmer gaining fourth. At 10 seconds, ticks away. Chris Meelan is going to be 8th as they come over the line. So the confirmed result puts the man that wins on the road in 8th position. Really frustrating for Chris Meelan. So with a 10-second penalty, it is 8th place for Chris Meelan. Will Palmer up to 4th behind Tom Jackson. Harry Newey's best yet second, and a second win of the year for Jordan Albert.
I saw Chris massively jump the start, so I knew if I just stayed behind, I'd win the race. But yeah, it's pretty difficult, but yeah, managed to win it in the end, so pretty good, yeah.
Did you know, obviously you've seen him do a jump start, but did you know he'd got a penalty?
Yeah, I mean, he jumped the start pretty bad, so I knew he was going to get something. And I saw P1 on my board, so I knew if I just kept it clean, I would come across first.
See? Just come back and